Antonio Vivaldi was an Italian Baroque composer born on March 4th, 1678 in Venice, Italy. He was known for composing many instrumental concertos for the violin and a variety of other instruments, as well as sacred choral works and more than 40 operas in the Baroque era. By the time Vivaldi was 15, he began to study for the priesthood and was established as a Roman Catholic priest in 1703 when he was 25. He showed natural musical talent from a very young age and also taught music at an orphanage called Ospedale della Pietà at the age of 15. Vivaldi's early works consist of sonatas for violins and basso continuo. His first major composition was the 12 trio sonatas Opus 1 for the violin, which was published in 1706. Later, in 1711, he composed his first and most influential set of concerti for the violin and string orchestra. In the following years up to 1719, the firm of Estienne Roger published 3 more collections of his concerto, Opuses 4, 6, and 7, and 1 collection of sonatas, Opus 5. Vivaldi debuted as a musician in 1713 in Ottone in Villa, where he performed in his first opera.
His major compositions ended up being operas composed in Mantua. When Vivaldi was 40 years old, he was ranked among the most popular Baroque composers in Europe. He became a maestro di cappella in the court of Philip of Hesse-Darmstadt. In 1722, Vivaldi moved to Rome to compose more operas, and later on would compose his best work, The Four Seasons. This piece was composed during 1718 to 1720, but published in 1725 in Amsterdam, along with 8 additional concerti. However, The Four Seasons was to compose 4 descriptive sonnets about each season. The first being spring, the second being summer, the third being autumn, and the last one being winter. The concertos were popular among audiences, partly due to their visualization from hearing the song and the brilliant use of programmatic elements, which depicted specific scenes and heavy emotions related to each season. The 1720s was the most successful time of his career as a musician. He was frequently traveling and was supplied with instruments to play for customers throughout Europe. Between 1725 to 1729, he published 5 new concertos to Michel Charles Lessène, who was Roger's published successor. In the 1730s, Vivaldi's career went downhill from here, as French travelers said his music was no longer fashionable. As Vivaldi spent his last and final years, he built up bad spending habits and was in a foreign land where income was low. So, he died poor and sick on July 28, 1741, which marked the end of his life. He ended up composing 800 different pieces, but to be forgotten when he died and became popular again in centuries.